yards on his own, kind of like Ezekiel Elliott a little bit, and probably not home run speed like Todd Gurley has, but I would probably say a mixture between probably Zeke and Gurley, and because those are both powerful dudes, and because man, this is a tough question because I don't always watch the NFL very much.
Yeah.
It's kind of, we're always busy during that time. But I guess you have to mix the two together. I guess that's kind of what you're going to get because Alex has really, really good feet. He does. My mom has a little saying for him because she calls him Swiss feet. So that's kind of what I call him. And then, but I was like, yeah, but when he wants to lower that shoulder and be a big time and big physical dude,
right.
That's what he does. So,
right.
I'll probably say he's a mix between the two, to be honest.
Now, you were a former player, actually a former All-League player back in, you played from 2001 to 2005. How important is it that, I don't know how certain players react, but when a guy that's coaching me has played, for the university, was an All-League guy, how much easier it is for you to relate to a guy like Alex and you guys have a good relationship like that?
Oh, it's easy to relate because the same system that we're running now is the same system we ran back then with obviously maybe a few little new wrinkles. So just kind of telling him, from my experience and the things that I've done and have seen, it is really, really easy to coach a guy. And then it's easy to develop trust faster, to be honest.
Right.
Because he's like, he's walked these halls, some of the same professors that I had, my coach had, a lot of these same boosters that are around, different things like that, just people in the community. My coach has been around. So we're able to, have easy, our conversation is a little bit easier to have. The dialogue is a lot, it goes a little bit further than probably most coaches with their players because they don't really know what they're going through every day except for just saying, hey, I kind of been in college before and I had to go through this. And, I played the position, but not on the blue fields. You haven't.
Now, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, and just not on the blue field, and you don't know what it feels like because it's definitely different because we have a blue field.
Love it. And that is one of the nicest. I mean, the blue turf is classic. Like that is just you got to love watching Boise State. I mean, it really is a cool thing to have in college football. One of a good tradition. Now, the Vikings run a West Coast style offense. I know Boise State. You guys ran, sort of a spread, and then I think, what offense did you guys run, do you think, this year? Was it more of a multiple, or was it more of a spread?
Yeah, I would say it's very multiple. We can be pretty much in anything. I always say this to people. The only thing we really don't do is run the option.
Yeah.
But everything else, it's really in our arsenal to do, in our bank of plays. And, we're a 12 personnel team. We could easily be 11, 10, 21, and we're very comfortable also being in those heavier personnel sets. So as far as the Vikings goes, I think Alex is going to fit in very easily because when you're in our system, you should be able to go to the NFL and transit. If you're smart, you should be able to transition smoothly and almost have a seamless transition, to be honest with you, because we ask our running backs to do a lot. And we don't just tell them to go right or left. I mean, they need to know all the protection responsibilities, why we're doing it, when should we do it, and those kind of things, and blocking schemes, why you need to run this route, because if you don't do this, you're going to obviously get, we want to influence the flat player so we can open up the curl. And Alex understands all those things. So, basically the only thing that's going to be different for him is going to be terminology and obviously getting used to the speed of the game. But as far as how smart he is, his work ethic, and the time he's going to put in, and his ability, that should be easy for him.
Yes, and Alex is really going to be able to step in and be the backup with Latavius Murray gone, and he signed with the Saints. Their other running back just got into some trouble. How much do you think he'll be able to learn from a guy like Dalvin Cook? I mean, that's a pretty cool duo that they're going to have going on here with Cook and Mattison.
It should. I told Alex, I said thunder and lightning. So, and he's ready for it. This has been a dream for him, and I'm excited for Viking Nation and just kind of this, that. I'm an instant Viking fan, to say the least.
There we go.
Just kind of, I'm super excited because you guys are really getting a really great person and player that's going to be great in the organization and great in the community. And he is going to be a great compliment to Cook. And Cook is going to be able to kind of show him the ropes a little bit. It's just kind of, this is how we do things at the NFL level. Now, as far as being, professional and doing all those things, I mean, Alex has that because that's what we ask of our players to do here. And just the way we practice and do some of those things, I think Alex is going to be able to step in right away and just hit the ground running.
Awesome. All right, a couple more left here. Now, you were able to coach Doug Martin and Jay Ajayi, is that correct?
No, I was just here for Jay for a year.
Okay.
I know. But I was around. I know Doug, obviously.
We're all
okay. Running back still.
Now, Was there any similarities between when you coach Ajayi and Mattison? Is there anything that you saw between the two? Are they just different running backs? How would you describe that?
The way I would describe is Jay's a step faster than Alex when he was in college. But when those two wanted to take over a game, they did that. So the more carries you give them, the better. It's just like the better they get, and they'll just wear on you because they're both bigger guys. I mean, Jay's 6 foot 230. I mean, Alex is 5'11", 225, and easily could be 230 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of the more carries you give them, it's just the better they get throughout the game. And the fourth quarter it really becomes their time. So the similarities there, I would definitely say that. That's probably what you're going to get, if you compare the two.
All right, last one here before we let you go. Give me something that you want to see Alex work on entering his first season in the NFL.
Ooh, something for him to work on.
Some room for improvement.
Somewhere for improvement. Well, I think I would just say probably speed. I would say number one. I mean, he's pretty good at everything else. I mean, it's just obviously top end speed is if you probably read the reports, that's the number one thing you probably read was just that he's not that's the one thing people said that's a knock on him. He's not a home run threat. So, because being a bigger back, but if there's one area that he can improve on, it'd be that. But he's pretty good at everything else, and of course you can improve in every single area from there. But I guess that's the only one I would say.
Okay. Great job today, Coach. Coach Lee Marks here, Boise State running backs coach. Good luck this season. Thanks again for giving me the time, man. I really appreciate it. We are very excited to have Alex here, and definitely have you back on one of these days.
Yes, sir. Go Broncos and go Vikings for sure. Number one. Huh?
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Great stuff from Coach Lee Marks about Alexander Mattison. Some good insight. Very excited. We'll see what he's able to bring to the table. He said he wants to see him work on his speed, but there were some moments that he saw in his career that he knew that he was a pro. We'll see if his game translates and how he backs up Dalvin Cook. Okay, I don't talk about the Timberwolves a lot. I don't like talking about the Timberwolves a lot. It doesn't seem like they're worth my time. But they did just name a new team president, and that is Gerson Rosas. He is the new team's president of basketball operations. He'll be responsible for decisions within the Timberwolves basketball operations department. Just a quick little background on him. He's 40 years old. He spent 17 years with the Houston Rockets, the last 7 as an executive vice president of basketball operations, where he assisted in all basketball operations of the franchise. He was an intern in the Rockets basketball operations department for 2 years before becoming a personal scout/video coordinator prior to the 2004 season. He was promoted to Director of Scouting in 2017, Director of Player Personnel in 2008. Look, I don't know what this means necessarily. I really don't. To me, as long as Glenn Taylor and Scott Layden are at the helm, there's just no hope for me. And it shouldn't be any hope for you guys. Because they've shown time in and time out that they do not know how to construct a roster between Karl Towns and Andrew Wiggins. And forget Andrew Wiggins for that sake. They have zero clue how to build around Karl Towns, who is arguably one of the most talented players in this league. There was a bunch of GMs that said they would pick him to start his franchise with,
and Scott Layden and Glenn Taylor look as clueless as ever, as they continuously fail over and over again. They cannot come up with a consistent team and a consistent playoff team. They have failed miserably. You looked back on this team and you saw what you had talent-wise in your youth, and you botched it. You had arguably the three most talented youngsters in Karl Towns, Andrew Wiggins, and Zach LaVine, and you traded the wrong guy. You traded Zach LaVine. And you can, it's Tom Thibodeau, okay, whatever. It was all of them. You traded Zach LaVine, and look what he's doing right now. You signed Andrew Wiggins to this, just this indestructible contract that no one will ever take on. You just have to be just one of the dumbest guys in sports to ever want to accept a trade for Andrew Wiggins. And that's what trade Andrew Wiggins. Yeah, who's taking that contract? Please, who's telling me taking that contract? For a guy that his game is outdated, he still takes mid-range jump shots, he doesn't play defense, he doesn't have any mentality or he doesn't show any type of resilience, he just seems content. And then you trade for Butler, you got to the playoffs, and then he said some real stuff, some true stuff about that franchise. Everyone said, oh my gosh, Jimmy Butler's this, Jimmy Butler's that, he's mean, he's not a nice guy. Well, you know what? Jimmy Butler's in the Eastern Conference semifinals, and he is killing it. And they are up 2-1 against the Toronto Raptors as we speak. So now you're stuck. It just seems like they're just going around in circles and chasing their own tail. They do not have any plan, and this is where it starts, up top. Every single successful franchise has a competent owner, GM, and coach. I don't know about the coach, but I know right now the GM and owner are not working together. And until they figure out that aspect of it, the Timberwolves are never going to be relevant. They have zero idea how to draft. They have zero idea how to construct a roster. So I don't know what Rosas is going to be able to do. I don't know how much leverage he'll have and how he's going to change things. So it's hard for me to sit and try to tell you that this guy is going to change the culture of the Timberwolves. There's no culture. And that's another problem. There's no identity, there's no culture, and there's no stability in that front office. And all of that equals a mediocre, underachieving Minnesota Timberwolves team. I didn't mean to get on the Timberwolves that much at the end. I don't really like talking about them because it gets me. They're not worth my time, to be completely honest with you. But we had to get into it. Told you about the basketball of operations. Let that be. Great job here, Brandon Morton, Jim Suan. Thank you as always. And Coach Lee Marks for giving me the time today. Hit me up on Twitter at SSTROM32. Let me know if you have any questions, any advice on what you guys want to hear. I will talk to you guys next Sunday.